You can email us at lawcall@WMBB.com. Tonight, our special guest is Dr. Irvin Clark.
Hey,
Dr. Clark,
yes,
welcome.
Sir.
How are you tonight?
Hey, I am doing well. Glad to be back on the show again.
Very good.
Yes,
now,
sir.
look, other than being my great friend, can you tell the folks out there, give a little introduction about yourself and what you do at FSU Panama City?
Yes. My name is Irvin Clark, and I've just started my 8th year at Florida State University as the Associate Dean of Student and Strategic Initiatives. And a big part of my job is connecting the community with Florida State University, Panama City. And this initiative that we worked on now for the last 7 years is a part of what I do. So glad to be back on.
Well, this is the Suicide Awareness Summit. This is the 7th year that Florida State University, Panama City campus has sponsored that. Perry & Young has been a sponsor each and every year. And we'll explain more about this, why we do this for the community as we go through the show tonight. But tell us a little bit about the summit. Who is it for? Who is it not for? And how do people sign up for it?
Well,
we got a slide there that just popped up. Let's go back to the slide real quick. Let you talk about it. Oh, 1 second they said. So tell everybody how they're going to sign up, and then we'll bring the slide up.
Well, we have this really neat QPR code that you can just click on it, and you can sign up via Eventbrite. You can sign up for in person, or if you can't attend in person, then you can sign up virtual. And this conference is to cultivate hope and resiliency and help us to learn more about mental health within our community. You know, Larry, it's you know, so many serious things that are happening out there with people. Lingering effects of Hurricane Michael, lingering effects of COVID, and just day-to-day life make it tough on a lot of people. So this is a great opportunity for us to talk about mental health and things you can do to recognize the signs of someone that is displaying some type of trauma or something like that.
No, we understand. So this event, it's meant to provide some healing.
Yes.
And also for people who have you know, had suicide in their family.
Yes.
Even for people, you know, we've had part of the event where survivors of suicide have come and spoken, and then also how they deal with the grapple and grappling with that they almost took their own life.
That's right.
And so there's a lot of different things that go on here. It is open to the public.
Yes, it is, and it is no cost.
Yeah, that's part of the sponsorship.
That's right.
We've got some other sponsors to thank as well. Yes, but you know, as far as the you know, what are some of the benefits for the social workers, the workers who are licensed counselors and so forth? They get some credit if they attend.
They get free continuing education units. You know, for licensure type professions like social work and counseling, what better way to get free continuing education units than right here in your back door, right at Florida State University, Panama City, as a part of this annual initiative.
Right. You can go to FSU Panama City, and you can look on the events calendar. You can find it there. You can also find it on Eventbrite, EVENTBRITE. You can look that up. Also, you can go to YouTube, 2024 FSU Summit. YouTube, and it will be on YouTube as it's live streamed as well. So you've got live streaming, you've got in person. You may even have a Zoom connection, I believe, on the Eventbrite as well.
Yes, we do.
So you've got all these different opportunities to do it. It's about a 5-hour session.
Yes, it is.
It starts 8:30 this upcoming Friday morning, October the 11th, in FSU Panama City. But it's open for anybody, not just Florida residents.
That's right.
We've got folks up in Alabama from the WDHN station in Dothan going all the way up to Opp, Alabama. If they want to participate, they can participate.
They can participate.
Yeah, so there's absolutely no cost.
No cost, none whatsoever.
Now, some of the things people ask, what is this about? Why are you doing this? Why do we go into it? And Dr. Clark, I know why FSU is doing it, but tell the folks why FSU is doing this, and then I'll tell you the personal reasons why Perry & Young has been a sponsor from the beginning.
Well, one of the things that FSU Panama City is committed to is to the community. And unfortunately, we know that not only do we have mental health struggles within our community, Larry, but we also have similar challenges at the campus.
Okay.
And that campus is a smaller version of a larger society, meaning if it can happen in downtown Panama City or downtown Atlanta, the potential of it to happen, it can happen at our campus. So it's a good opportunity for us, especially since we have social work programs and psychology programs, to take what we do in making social workers and psychologists and be able to give back to the community in a very meaningful way.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, this particular issue knows no socioeconomic barriers.
It doesn't discriminate.
No, it does not. It happens to the poorest of the poor and the richest of the rich, and I am firsthand witness to that across the entire spectrum. It doesn't matter if you're black, or if you're white.
It does not matter.
If you're gay or if you're straight.
Nope.
It does not matter.
Hey,
it does
young
not
or old.
discriminate.
In
Young
fact,
or old. We're seeing a lot more older people, our age and older. Or
but
even
now
our
even
age.
with young people.
Right.
I mean, just read at FSU Panama City, we had 5 examples of it. And we're thankful for all of the community resources that we have, and we was able to react and get people connected with resources that the campus did not have. But we had those resources readily available right in our community.
Yes, sir. And, as far as, why Perry and Young sponsors it, it's sad to say that I've had suicide in my family, not just once, but twice. And then I've had other family members that have attempted suicide. And it's not, they're saying, oh, well, it's a family curse, it's this, it's that.
No.
2 of the family members, one predated my birth, and I didn't find out about it until his son, my grandfather, passed away from suicide. And strange coincidences, but nothing that ever came out of it. A lot of shame, if you will, in the family. They tried to cover it up. And I was a young man, I was only 7, 8 years old when my grandfather committed suicide. And you, as a kid, you're like, you love your grandfather, and this grandfather, you hate to say he's your favorite grandfather, but my other grandfather had passed away a little bit, earlier in my life. And so I got to know this grandfather, and he was with me and really supported me, encouraged me, did a lot of different things, and it just broke my heart when I did find out, really what happened, and the emotional strain of that. When I found out as a little bit older, I was still like a preteen or early teenager.
But you was old enough to know.
I was old enough to know what was going on, and I'm like going, well, why would he do that? Why would he do that? If he loved me, why would he do that?
Why would he do that?
Why would he do that? And you talk about socioeconomic. Let's just talk about my grandfather just for a moment. Successful. And when I say successful, he was the hockey dentist player for the hockey teams in the upper area of New York, and back in the 60s and 50s, had a thriving dental practice, and everybody knew him. Everybody loved him. In fact,
and you just wouldn't expect that.
No, you wouldn't expect it. No, not at all. And looking back on the financial records for the time, I mean, he upper 1%. And he lived modestly. Obviously in the 50s and 60s and into the early 70s, there wasn't a whole lot of big screen TVs you could buy. There wasn't a lot of iPhones you could buy.
Stuff, the technologies that we have today.
But it seemed like, a man that seemed like to have it all had started a synagogue. He was Jewish. He had started a synagogue. He did lots of things in the community, and you just kind of go, how could this happen? It's a mystery, in our life, and so we kind of learned through the years that it may have been another underlying health issue.
Correct.
We were literally up on the Canadian border, and he had been to Montreal several times with a heart condition, and maybe that was it. I have no clue. I have no idea. It's something I wish, why?
Why?
The why. As a kid, you're like, why would you do that?
But that's the beautiful thing about this training, especially when you have like QPR training.
Yeah, let's talk about the QPR training. That's something that's in addition to.
Yes, it is.
It's an extra hour beyond the seminar. But what is the QPR training?
Well, it's question, persuade, refer, and we're actually doing this training in partnership with PanCare under Drew Head that was able to get a SAMHSA grant. Which is huge, and this training gives you an opportunity, just as it says, question, persuade, refer. It gives you an opportunity to understand and recognize some of the signs, some of the questions to ask, some of the techniques that you can do to persuade a person not to take their life, and then referral. Where do you go? Where are the resources within the community, and they have plenty of them.
And that's an extra hour, and you have to sign up for that separately. You sign up for the on Eventbrite, you sign up for everything, but you sign up for it separately. It's an extra hour, and for those participants, there's a free lunch that's provided as well. When we say free, we mean free.
Free, no cost to you
no
whatsoever.
cost to anybody other than your time to come. We want you to be there, and we want this not to be a financial burden on anyone that attends.
That's right.
I mean, through the years, we've had as many as 200 people show up at this event.
Yes, we have.
This year, the sign up, I think, is a little low. I think it's about 100 or less at this point. But so there's plenty of room.
So you have time.
You have time.
Yes, you have time
and you
to
can
register.
even show up the morning of October
That's
the
right.
11th.
We will turn no one away. If you show up, and even if you didn't go online and register,
we'll have a
we have a
registration
process right at the door.
Yep. And this year's keynote speaker is Scott Poland.
Yes, and you know Scott from what I understand.
do. I know Scott. Scott and his beautiful wife have. We spent some time with him, and Scott Poland is with Nova University.
Yes.
And he is a world-renowned expert in the area of suicide awareness, suicide prevention, and bringing some closure to families that even go through the process.
And Larry, he has a very interesting topic: the essential role of hope in suicide prevention. In fact, this whole conference, the theme of it is hope. Where do we find it?
Right.
It is a question. Hope.
Right.
Where do we find it?
And so many times people that I know that have committed suicide, they felt that last ring of despair.
Yes.
And sometimes it is, they're different than who they are in public.
Yes.
They've got a dark secret that they don't want anybody to know. Sometimes it's financial.
Yes.
Somebody that's been successful and they have a financial ruin or something that comes about that they feel like is a financial ruin.
Or it's a relationship.
I was going to say the next one is relationships.
Yes.
Especially for young people.
That's right. For us semi-old guys too.
No, yeah. Well, the relationship with kids. The boyfriend, girlfriend.
Yes.
And then also you throw in. I held up my phone just a few moments ago, and the revenge porn, if you will, that has come out. The shame. The
shame and
with children, and we've witnessed that in our community as well, where. A young lady several years ago unfortunately took her life after being bullied.
Yes.
And things went around the school that she thought would be private, and it obviously wasn't. And she ended up taking her life.
And now they're using AI and other technologies
my goodness.
to put fake stuff out there on people. They didn't actually do those things, but you have to live with that. And in a small community, it's tough.
It is.
Yes.
It is. Now we had some of the signs of people. Let's put that screen back up, and then we'll go to a break real quick. Let's put that screen back up, please. Some of the warning signs that we see, talking about suicide, death, and dying. It doesn't have to say, I'm going to kill myself. It's like, I wonder what it's like to be dead, or I want to die, or they have an infatuation with death, especially young people, but also old people.
Yes.
Because maybe they've lost their spouse, or maybe they're alone.
Yes.
And they've got that despair that's in there. If you find somebody giving away things, if you got a favorite jersey that somebody's giving it away, or
and you think it's odd that they would do that.
Yeah, I'm getting rid of my collection of whatever, and I want you to have it. And then other things, that are broad-based is dramatic changes in behavior. Somebody that might be outgoing becomes a recluse. Somebody that's a recluse all of a sudden is very outgoing. Yes. Dramatic changes in behavior there, and those are very, very broad measures. And please don't take that that's just it.
No, there are many others.
That's why the training is important, and coming to the training. And let me tell you, let me just say this before we go to break. We've had parents and spouses that have attended this seminar where their spouse has committed suicide or their child has committed suicide. And they want to know, what did I miss?
What did I miss? Exactly.
Did I miss anything?
Yes.
And sometimes people do not come right out and say what their intentions are. And sometimes there are no warning signs.
Right.
We say that there could be, and sometimes there are not. And so sometimes these seminars are a healing process for those who are survivors of the impact of a suicide.
Yes.
Folks, we've got a very critical and very serious topic that we're talking about here tonight. We will take your questions live if you wish, 850-392-1544, or you can email us at lawcall@wmbb.com if you wish to remain anonymous. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. And welcome back to Law Call. Tonight we're taking on the very serious subject of suicide and suicide awareness. Our guest tonight is Dr. Irving Clark, and we have a suicide summit that is coming up in Panama City at the FSU Panama City campus on Friday, October the 11th. Doors open at 8:30. There is a separate program after the initial program called the QPR program that lasts at 2:30 in the day. So come spend as much time as you wish, and the entire program is free.
It is free.
It is free. Before we get to the slides, guys, I just want to kind of give a special shout out to some folks. These are the sponsors. When we say free, free comes at a cost to somebody else.
Yes, it does.
And so the FSU Foundation is giving a generous donation. Spare is giving a generous donation. Frame Shaping LLC, Chaz
Wiggins,
is giving a very generous donation. And Perry & Young is giving a generous donation to make sure that this is a ongoing and continuing event at no cost to anyone who attends, whether it's a general public or somebody who is a counselor and gets in.
That's right, someone who works in the field.
We also have some sponsors who will be providing refreshments and other items, and I like to, these small businesses, I want y'all to go out and support now, okay? They're all local to Panama City, so if you visit Panama City, please try to search them out. The Drip Coffee, located at North Star Church, they're going to be providing coffee on site. K Hall's Deli, they'll be providing some sandwiches and different things, cookies as well. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate everything you're doing. Nothing But Cakes will be providing a little refreshment. Oh, that got your, yeah.
Ooh, yummy.
Yeah, the Bagel Maker here downtown Panama City. Dandy D Donuts, also a long-standing, you notice a little food thing going on here. But also Frame Shaping. They're going to be bringing in bottled water and other types of refreshments that are there. And so we want to just thank those sponsors who are providing this. Again, it's free to anybody who participates, but to these businesses, they are putting up not only their treasure, but also their talents.
That's
right. We get to enjoy that. We did have a caller while we were away, and the caller asked, I'm not suicidal, but has suicidal thoughts. And so we've got a special slide for you. There are things that you can do. The first thing is the 1-800 National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. And sometimes people just need to talk through things. And so when you start to have those thoughts, it might be good to reach out to this 1-800 number, or if you don't remember the 1-800 number, you can just dial 988. That's 988, and you can even text 988 from that phone, on any phone, any type of smartphone.
And that's iPhone. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And that's the beautiful thing about it. Years ago, if there would be a local suicide hotline or a crisis hotline, and the old jokes were, can you hold please? No, I can't hold, I'm calling on a suicide hotline. And these are staffed around the clock, 24/7.
Yes, 24/7.
And they're there, they're available. And so we want to express to you, and you know who you are, who's watching, those are two critical numbers that you can call. And the other thing that you can do, we've got your telephone number. We'll reach out to you tomorrow. We'll find out if there's something specific. And maybe it's not anything specific, but for instance, if it's a veteran.
Yes.
Veterans have a special setup they here locally. They have it through Emerald Coast Behavioral.
Yes.
And also through, which one, Life Management.
Yes.
There are special veterans programs.
And then they also have 2211, which is sponsored through the United Way.
Yep. So that is 211.
211.
Yet another number.
Yes.
That you can utilize. And so there are different programs for different people.
Yes.
And sometimes it can be, and I deal in cases sometimes where there's sexual abuse. And there is a high incidence of people who have been sexually abused where they have suicidal ideations because of, what could I have done to prevent this? What could I do? A lot of worry, guilt, shame, different things that are going on in people's minds, and they have been violated.
Oh boy.
And they want to get rid of that pain so bad that they consider suicide. And
especially when it's hard to forgive yourself.
Right.
Sometimes.
Right.
Yes.
You and I were talking before the show about the sexual predators in Hollywood, and different areas. But the sexual predators are not just in Hollywood.
Yes.
Sometimes they are stepmothers and stepfathers. Sometimes they are fathers and mothers. Sometimes they are aunts and uncles. Sometimes they are priests. Sometimes they are, coaches. Sometimes, I mean, it's teachers. It can be the next door neighbor.
Yes.
Anywhere there's human interaction, there can be that problem. And so, even parents, they say, well, I trusted coach, or I trusted this, or I trusted that.
I would have never thought that would have happened.
It's a breach of trust,
yes,
that goes on there. And then that leads to, going down this path of despair.
Yes.
And that's why the theme this year of, hope, finding hope, and having hope is so important.
Yes. Because
it's the hope that you will get through this.
Yes.
And many times, and I'm not going to say every time, but in many times the situations are temporary.
Yes.
It is a temporary breakup. It is a temporary financial crisis. It is a temporary relationship issue. It is
but sometimes to them it may feel like it's something
you're looking all the way up at the mountain.
Yes, that's right.
And you're down at the bottom of the valley saying,
right.
I can't do it again.
Right.
I can't get back up again. And you and I have a great faith in Christ.
Yes, Lord.
We pour it out every day, and sometimes we get down in that valley.
Yes, we do.
And we know that our faith will pull us up, or our belief that we'll walk that path and we'll do that. Some people don't have that faith.
They don't have that faith.
They don't have that relationship.
Well, they don't have that community of believers.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And so those are the things that are going to be discussed. It's a secular conference. I'm not here to talk about religion. It's just something personal between you and I. But folks, this conference is a great conference. It is a great resource. We want to tell you just a few more things about it. We'll get to our shout outs as well. But stay tuned. We'll be right back. Okay, well, welcome back. Dr. Clark, we want to talk about who is actually presenting at the seminar. We've got Brandy Heyman, who is a licensed clinical social worker here, local here in Panama City.
Yes, Brandy's wonderful.
We've got Ernie Villa with K9 Training, who's going to talk about the emotional support of support dogs.
Yes.
Don't know if we're going to have a demonstration yet, still trying to work that out, but just how support dogs work. Keynote speaker will be Scott Poland, from Nova University, and then Mike McLaughlin, who is also a licensed clinical social worker from the local area.
That's right. And he works at FSU Panama City.
Yes, and going to be doing the QPR training specifically on that we talked about.
And then also we're going to have the 988 Florida Lifeline with Nikki Wotherspoon, which is going to be talking about the whole lifeline. And so critical information, firsthand information, lots of resources.
Yep. We've got a couple photographs to show to give shout outs tonight. Let's go to that. Oh, look at there. We've got Isabel and Olivia. That's James Douglas' children. And look at there. Fine children at Waffle House. Can't raise them up any better than that. And then we've got Tracy Smith, who just got inducted as a judge. She has not had her investiture yet.
That's awesome.
She is a former associate at Perry & Young. I get to tell you that. We are so proud of Tracy and her family.
Yeah.
We've got Gary. We got Lucy that's watching tonight. We got Miss Pam and Pam. We've got Harriet and King. Josie on the go was watching. Amy Hoyt, Terry and Candy. Lauren, Nick, and Emery. We've got Jake Cook, Stephanie, Charlotte, Terry, Carly is watching, Linda and Ellie Joe, Courtney and Jimmy. Thank you so much for watching. Reminder, 988 is the number if you need help, and please reach out for assistance as you need it. Folks, y'all be well, be safe. Stay tuned. We'll be back the same time, same place next week. Have a good evening.